Floor is yours.
All right. I'll give you a little heads up for Friday stuff since I've been doing some prep over the weekend, and so you guys can be my guinea pigs a little bit if that's fun, if that's cool. Um, One of the topics you've heard me do a little bit of this thing about how don't pay attention to the to kind of the talk and the noise out there in the economy because people are actually doing pretty well. And I'm getting a little more bold about this. So I'm going to kind of yell at people a little bit on Friday because it's too much fun to do that in person. Make fun of realtors for 3 hours or whatever, and it's always a good time. But the reality is, if you sat next to me the last couple of weeks, the results are pretty strong in general now. It's kind of bizarre. So if you want me to kind of oversimplify, January was a dip for people, February was decent, and March is freaking strong, and April is still strong, is kind of the general trend with realtors. So it's really important for you not to listen to the, sort of the small talk or especially your own voices inside your head here. But the one thing I do, we're going to it's going to be a deep dive on marketing, I may have mentioned on Friday. And I'll just give you a little radio tease for Friday. I'm going to share a couple of things, and I'll do one of them right now with you, which is a little like a marketing technique, if that's okay. So one of the things, kind of interestingly, in the last, I don't know, maybe just last week, I probably had like 3-ish people on private calls ask me, hey, Dave, what do you know about ClickFunnels? And I'm like, what do you know about ClickFunnels? Where'd that come from, right? That's not something you hear every day when you're dealing. I hear it more in other industries than I do in real estate, interestingly enough. And to be fair, those of you that are going to be there on Friday, if you want to really talk to somebody who I would consider, I don't know about expert, but is close to it. And, Lupe, you have a contact for it, obviously. You and Rosie do, so you guys have a contact. So maybe I should leave you with your contact, this guy, Joe, that Lupe has put in. My brother-in-law is also pretty expert at from a realtor's perspective because he kind of likes marketing. I sometimes wonder if he likes marketing more than real estate. He's poured a lot of money into marketing over the years, and he loves every gadget, if you get my drift. So if the gadget is cute and cool, he'll spend money on it. However, he's also gotten some expertise with it. So if you probably took his return on investment for several years on things like funnels, it probably would not be impressive, but now he's kind of got a machine going. And so I'm going to share with you a single simple technique for funnels. And please understand that all a ClickFunnel means is basically whatever way you're targeting new leads, you kind of put something in front of people and ask for a response. Then you ask them another question and ask for a response. Then you do another interaction and ask for a response. And whatever you got after 4, 5, 6, 7 interactions, by definition, they're warm or hot leads because they're still engaging you. That's all a ClickFunnel is. Does that make sense? A funnel literally is, I always use the expression flood the funnel, right? So think about the visual of flooding the funnel. What does it mean? A funnel is like an upside down cylinder. It's wide at the top and it's narrow on the bottom. Okay. So if you guys go on Google Images and Google Funnels or whatever, the most kind of common one you'll see, a business one you'll see, is leads at the top, appointments in the middle, closes or clients on the bottom. Does that kind of make sense? That's your classic funnel. So what does it mean? It means if you want to do a lot more, if you want to double your business, it's pretty simple. Just, widen the funnel a lot. It typically means you got to widen the funnel more than double, by the way, because you're going to be filtering. So get lots more leads, go on a lot more appointments, and by definition, you'll get a lot more closes. So, one of the, this from me, I ran a marketing company and I still don't think I'm sophisticated at all in marketing. In fact, I try not to be. So when you guys see our dumb marketing, it's intentionally dumb and simplistic because I want it to be replicatable. For me, the game about marketing is much more about quantity than quality. This is for those of you that were former KWites, right? That's a Gary Keller-ism too, right? It's like, marketing is far more quantity than quality. It's create a bigger funnel and you'll do more business. The beauty of that is when you flood the funnel, then you have a lot more appointments and a lot more transactions, you get better at your craft also. So your quality actually improves too. What's the best way to improve your quality? Do more quantity, right? That's the concept of flooding the funnel. How about this one? Why do you want to flood the funnel? Because the more appointments, you guys know how it works. The more appointments you go on, the easier it is to close the next one. Then you get the people like, I just got off a call. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or the week before, but my client that I just got off with is this gal, Jeanette Nelson, who's down in Long Beach, and she's high volume. Her GCI last year was 499, right? Okay. And Jeanette is interesting because 2 weeks ago on our coaching call, she says, Dave, I just lost this client and it really frustrated me and blah, blah, blah. And she said, what's wrong, Dave? Why are you making that face? And I'm like, what face? And she's like, why are you making a face? I'm like, I'm not making a face. She's like, you're like smirking. And I'm like, all right. And she said, what? And I said, you've never, ever whined or complained about losing a client before. And the only reason you are must be because your funnel sucks. Okay, does everybody understand how this works? If she had a lot of stuff in her funnel, she wouldn't even think to, okay, you get the point. When you flood the funnel, it's easy to close the next one because you already have that momentum. But when you don't have anything going, you feel like you can't close a doorknob. It gets really weird. Okay, back to this concept of the ClickFunnels. So how does a ClickFunnel work? It means you're going out trying to get lots of leads and you're filtering them through some process so that you're now going to go and have some kind of conversation with somebody that's already kind of responded a bunch. So theoretically, they're warm or hot. Now, Lupe in particular and Rosie, they have a great contact for this. They even referred, Lupe was even sharing, might be good for me. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to be doing a reach out here, probably right after the event, because we want to have more stuff coming in, right? Or if you guys want, I can connect. If you want to message me privately, I'll connect you to my brother-in-law if you want to pick his brain, or he will be there on Friday. Not only will he be there on Friday, but Rosie, I hope you don't miss this one. There's going to be a very, very interesting, supposedly something going on at our event that's not normal for a business event. That's totally outside the box, involving my brother-in-law. So you can think that one through if you like. Anyway, I'll share privately. Let's just say, anyway, I'll leave it at that. It's a personal thing, but it could be something really crazy happening at our event. We'll see. So I'm going to show you a really dumb, like marketing 101 application of this. Some of you have already seen this. It's our Facebook and Instagram stories to promote the event on Friday. Okay. Here is the concept first. I'm going to show you a visual on it. Some of you have already seen this, I'm sure. Okay. And so here it is. Let's say, and you can use Facebook and Instagram stories as a super cheap, if not free way to create your own funnel for your business. Okay. And so for us right now, we're just promoting the event this week, but I'll explain, if you're curious, I'll explain to you how we're intending to use it even for things like our virtual assistant product or, KV core management or who knows, whatever else we're doing, right? Transaction coordinator, all this stuff we do, right? So first things first. Let's check this out first. And here's a crazy one for you guys. Instagram is noticeably more effective than Facebook. This is a very big change from my first 5 years of coaching, my first 6, 7 years of coaching. It's a totally different world. We got like 90%, 95% of our social media volume from Facebook. It's completely flipped. Instagram's more effective than Facebook now. It's just ridiculous. Facebook sucks. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. And when I say sucks, I'm not saying neglect it. Don't neglect it. Do it. But it's not as effective as it used to be. For example, okay, let me just show you this one. Here, we wished a happy birthday to Roz the other day, right? It was just her birthday on the 28th, okay? And I put this post. And notice on the bottom, 167 likes and 97 comments. Sounds like a lot. If this was 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been 500, 600 likes. I'm not making that up. I could show you if you go back in our stuff, right? Facebook's done something wacky with their free and paid algorithms. It's not as good as it used to be. It's just not. Okay. But we're still getting occasional transactions from it. So don't neglect it. It's still easy. Social media, it's called social media. It's a mass media tool. It's great. It costs you virtually nothing in terms of time or money, and you get a lot of eyeballs still. Okay. So let's go to the stories. Now, the cool thing, as some of you know, is if you put a story on the Facebook personal page, you can also have it connected so it automatically goes on to your Instagram stories. So let's pause for a minute. Here's the technique, if you will. This is a ClickFunnel technique. The first thing is do something to get a lot of eyeballs, something that attracts mass attention. So you'll notice this has nothing to do with products. It's just a nice picture of my wife and I in Bermuda a year ago with a cute quote, business is not the end game, it's a vehicle to better life. And boom, we get 158 eyeballs in 12 hours. That may sound like it's okay. That's actually low because that was the nighttime, the last 12 hours. So by the time 12 hours from now, by the time it's 9 or 10 at night and this story expires, this will be at about 500 eyeballs, which is plenty for a 24-hour period. Everybody follow me? Okay, even for Facebook, that's good. The stories are better and more effective than the posts nowadays on Facebook, but you do both anyway if you can. So now here's where the selling begins. The first view is just to attract an audience. I don't care if it has anything to do with the business. It usually doesn't. Then now we're starting to sell. Story number 2, David Halpern live in Brea this Friday. He's about to yell at everybody about their, whatever, right? Notice it only got 116 views. Some people dropped off and didn't want to look at this. They looked at the first picture and go, fine, I'm tired of Dave. Next, right? Okay, good. Then you go to the third one. Look, here's another one. Again, David, and Andy will be in Brea. For free tickets, text free. The event's nearly sold out. 92 viewers. Next one. Roz, Martha, and Amani will be in Brea. Now, this is already the fourth one and the third one about the event. Does everybody understand that whoever viewed this one, you could consider a little bit of a filtered lead source? Is that cool? What's cool on Facebook and Instagram is I could click on the 83 and hear the names. Now, these first ones are on my team. Ramona Spagna put love it. Dwayne Saunders put like it. They're super hot targets then to come to the event. And then you got all these names. So what do you do with these names? Very simple. You send them all private messages directly and invite them. You target market those people. Then there's one more we got. It's going to be a full house, whatever these 79 are filtered from the 97. You could pick the 90 something from the last one or the 79 from this one and message them privately. And here's the cool thing. Let's go to Instagram. If you post the story to Facebook, and you can set it up on your settings. Anybody on our team and probably some people on your team know how to do that. It's only one click. It'll automatically show up on Instagram as well as your stories. And Instagram's been great with the stories too. Let me see if I can do this for you. Here you go. Here's Instagram, seen by 165, if you can see that. Seen by 136, right? By the fourth one, you're at 108 now. Everybody good so far? So we were having one of my virtuals on our team, Jethro, send out the messages to the people on the fourth, whatever story. Okay, doesn't have to be the fourth. You can do it any way you want. But all we did was send a message saying, hi, Susie, any interest in 2 free tickets for our upcoming event or whatever. Now, just bear in mind, you have diminishing returns. So if you do it one day, you'll get a better response that day and the next day than you will a week later if you continue to do it like we're doing daily. We're overkilling it, right? Okay, not yesterday, but last Sunday, I was in a gym on a Sunday and the stories just went up on Instagram for the first time, right? I think I'm not making this up, within 2-3 hours, we gave away 37 tickets. Got it? So, and then since then, it's been going lower, where yesterday it might have been like 2 tickets on Instagram and 3 on Facebook. Okay. I'm going to keep doing it every day. You'll notice if you're on social media, you'll see it every day going up to Friday, because in a way, even if we don't give away any more tickets, it's still a kind of a good reminder for people as confirmations, because people are funny, they say they want to go to the event and then they forget there's an event. Right. So it's not bad for event confirmations too. So one other thing about events, and that's another thing I'm going to spend some time talking about at the event, because I have several realtors that are doing events very effectively for getting business, whether it's first-time home buyer events or, senior speaking at senior centers to share both, the possibility of listings and, exchanges and, probate and reverse mortgages and all this mishmash, right? But you really can use events effectively because it's like wholesale selling. So a quick one for you guys also. You won't be able to see it because I have that funky virtual background right now where you can't see, but Saturday, Martha and I were kind of just relaxing on Saturday, and longtime clients and friends, Julio and Jeanette Arias, who were very, very high volume, like 55 sides last year or whatever, they do client appreciation events, as I may have shared with you, every other month, literally 6 in a year. So they did one day before yesterday. It was an Easter egg hunt with a guy in an Easter bunny costume, 1,000 eggs, plastic eggs around this park in Upland, right? And they have a a pretty expensive videography team now on their payroll who were there taking photos and videos of families. So they let people dress up and all this kind of stuff. Make sense? And so Martha and I kind of surprise visited them because they're a long time. They've been to our house a few times. They're friends, and I know Rosie may have met them at our house. They're friends and clients, whatever. So we just surprise visited them and brought them like some flowers and a handwritten note, which if you think about it, even that's database marketing, right? And we were just chatting and catching up and all this kind of stuff. And I have a nice picture of the four of us, but that was an event. Okay, Jeanette says this. We're in a park in Upland, right? And Jeanette's office was kind of across the street on Mountain Avenue, I guess it is. And Jeanette says, hey, by the way, you see those two houses there right across the street from the park? Both of them are past clients. And the one over there couldn't make it today, but the other one did. And then somebody shows up and says, are you Jeanette? Yes. Oh, you're shorter than I thought you'd be. And Jeanette's like, oh, ouch. And she said, I wanted to meet you because of your friends over there. They're friends of mine and they recommended me to you. Can you help me, please? I want to sell my home. Literally came up to her and said this on Saturday. What's the return on investment for their party? The best part about it was she had on video that there were literally squirrels coming down from the trees and grabbing the plastic eggs and running back up the tree. She has one on video. It's very funny. But you know, okay. So sorry, that was a bit of a ramble on ClickFunnels, using social media, just a quick intro to events. I'm going to talk in depth about, you know, inviting to events and creating your own as a realtor. And, you know, people are like, well, I never do those, or I'm not so interested in those. It's a mistake because I love when realtors tell me only 3 couples showed up to my first time homebuyers event. I'm like, dude, 3 couples? What do you usually do? 0, right? So I like that kind of stuff. Let's push pause for a minute, Rosie. I just wanted to share that quick thing about ClickFunnels and kind of looking at social media through different lenses. I can certainly answer, you know, if you guys want to pop questions or comments on that, we can go in a little different direction. Social media is going to be also a pretty strong topic on Sunday because the people that are doing really well, I took 8 or 9 of whatever this is, maybe 10 or so, 12 of my clients that are crushing it right now. They were already high volume and they're doing even better this year in spite of all the noise and the scuttlebutt. And I asked them, what is it that's causing the success in your business? And every one of these people on this list is going to be in the room on Friday. So I'm going to literally share this and pass them the mic so you don't think any of this made up. But I'm not going to give away any of the punchlines on what they're doing other than none of it's rocket science. None of it. It's going to be a lot of database, a lot of social media, and a bunch of things. Some of them you're doing, some of them you're not doing, and they're all different from each other. Right?
So one thing I want to say about ClickFunnels, like the psychology around it, and we do have a friend. I mean, you know, I would pay attention to anybody who's doing anything successfully. But our good friend Joe, you know, we've had a lot of conversations. I meet with him every Thursday, and you know, shares insights and whatnot. But when you think about the psychology around a funnel, it usually starts with something that people want to hear or learn about, right? The 3 best listing scripts ever created. You know, the 2 things you need to know about an open house, or the 3 things that you need to know before buying a house, whatever it is. So it's some compelling question. And then you offer to give them this thing for free, right? So it comes from contribution, right? It's not like, hey, I want to sell your house, call me. It's more like, hey, do you want the 3 things that are like the best things you need to know in real estate? Click here. Click here. Great. Put your information here. Yeah. And as a bonus, would you like to hear about this, this, and that too? Yes. Okay, great. You know, click here. Usually it's an upsell because they're giving you something. They're like, this is for free, but if you want this, just pay like $9.99. And hey, if you want the premium package, pay another $20.99 or whatever. So usually they're selling you something. But just in terms of that concept, that psychology, think about how you can use that same ClickFunnel mentality and saying, hey, you know, hey guys, so I'll be talking on Friday. I'm doing this home ownership workshop. I'm going to be breaking down every little step that you need to know about buying a house in today's market and get your offer accepted. You know, please sign up for this home buyer workshop. It's going to be Saturday, boom, boom, boom. We're going to be giving away this strategy session. We're going to give away this list of homes that are not on the market, whatever it is. So it's the same. I just want to talk about the psychology, whether it's ClickFunnels or using other systems or whatever. The psychology around getting people interested is being able to give them something they want, right, for free, like David. David's really good at that. And then, you know, you can go ahead and introduce other products, but it comes from the space of like bringing value and giving value. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that. And then you said the first thing that you said, David, was that the funnel. So a lot of us think of, do I have any clients? I don't have any clients that I'm working on right now, right? So I'm hoping I do well. I'm going to do a little door knocking, you know, I'm going to do this. So you think about it like this big monster, right? I would encourage you to think about this like I think about it, okay? So I would go to work, and I was on a salary when I started, and I had a job to do that day. And that job was to get on the phone, and I had to pick up 2 or 3 clients every day. That was my job. I was getting paid a salary, so I would do this job. And so I was thankful for that, because it gave me the mentality around what I do when I show up to work. So don't overthink what you're supposed to be doing here in real estate, okay? You show up every day. Do you have a schedule? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it is, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. When you show up to work, you have a job. And that job is to, you know, get 2 to 3 new people and to engage with you per day. You could do it by door knocking. You could do it by social media. You could do it by messaging. You could do it by phone calls. But every day, that is your job, right? Think about it in micro steps, and think about a pipeline you're building. Okay. So my goal initially was 10. I had to have 10 people in my pipeline at any given time. I said, once I get to 10, then I'll move it to 15. Then I'll move it to 20. So don't think about a client like a little, you know, like a fragile little egg. Think about a pipeline that you're building. Keep a sheet on your right hand of your desk or your phone or whatever. And every day you're continuing to add to that pipeline. And by the end of the week, if your goal is 2, then hopefully by the end of the week, you have got 10 people in your pipeline that are, you know, interested, that are engaged with you in this process. Most of them are going to fall out. Out of 10, you'll end up with 3. Okay. But in your month, you'll have 40, and those 40 will end up with, you know, hopefully 10 to 12 in your pipeline. So every day you are feeding your pipeline. Every day you are doing those micro steps, you know, and then when one person doesn't work out, like David says, it's okay. You know, it's part of what happens. Out of every 10 people, you'll end up with 1 or 2. So what? Keep going. Tomorrow it's about getting the other 10 or the other 2 or 3. So I just want to add to that.
There's as Rosie's mentioning this, you guys, I like the concept of it. There's a strong realtor out in Upland named Albert Silva. And Albert is one of the guys that does things very old school and visual. And he's got, I don't know if I mentioned this already. He's got the whiteboards on his wall where he's got all the hot leads on one whiteboard and the warm leads on another whiteboard. If that sounds familiar, forgive me, but it's kind of an interesting concept. It's just like, who cares how you get them? Just find another name. You know, right now for the event, quick interesting thing. I could show you the spreadsheet, but it's a waste of time. If we've had 300 and whatever 20 individual people request a total of 800 something tickets. From experience, we are expecting 280 to show up as of today. I desperately want this sucker to be over 300. That was my target from the beginning. It's over 300 in the room plus the sponsors, right? It's going to look full anyway, even with the 280, but it's going to be good. But I wanted over 300. And honestly, between now and Thursday night, I honestly, right now, have no freaking idea how to get the remaining 20. Meaning, we've already done 2 email blasts with very poor responses and a lot of spam blockers, and who knows what's going on there. Our text response got a decent, our text message to the database got a decent response. We've been doing these stories every freaking day now for 2 weeks. They're pretty ineffective compared to what they were 2 weeks ago now, right? We've already done phone calls and asking and sponsors and this and that. And honestly, if you ask me in this minute, how am I going to get the other 20? I don't know the answer. I do know that when I get stumped, I need to ask other people for help. So I start, you know, texting like in a scramble with my team. Any ideas? How can we find more? Whatever. And sure enough, Roz reached out to some broker who we've known forever. I'll share it with Rosie and Lupe privately, who we've known forever, who is like had an injury and couldn't come, and now she wants to come and bring a big crowd. So we're getting closer, but it's like I don't know how we're going to do it. Who cares?
I do, but I'll check privately.
Oh, okay, good.
I know. Okay. See you guys. You guys finish up. Bye.
I guess that was supposed to be the end. So anyway, don't worry how you do it. If you're going to keep a whiteboard and try to build your pipeline, you don't have to be so structured about it. You know, marketing in many ways, one of the things we're going to talk about on Friday is you just need a lot of options to choose from in order to go pursue your next leads and deals. That's about it, right? Cool. Hope it was helpful.
Thanks, David.
Hey,
Thanks,
Jeff.
David.
You got it,
Great call
guys.
today.
Damiano, good to have you, all of you guys. I send